All right, so first things first, unfortunately the city, whoever the contractor was, did not use screen behind their stucco. As you can see, they're splitting here throughout. This discoloration here is not from the mixture, that's water retention. You can see here, although there is screen here, it's such a very, very thin coating. You're going to have water penetration. How else do we know? Right here. See how it's split here? And just throughout. I wasn't called to look at it. Look, there's a pocket there that's just trapping water. Let's continue to break this up. And then obviously the chipping, flaking. That's about as big as my head, and that split continues all the way down. What they should have done, everybody knows that unless concrete's done at a high PSI like a Home Depot or Lowe's floor, it's porous. If you look here, you can see how this is wide open in so many spots. So I'll show you a close-up. Again, even though I wasn't asked for this, there's your evidence of your water getting in here and the discoloration. See that? The darker areas, that's water retention. Hello. So you should know that you're going to want to seal this unless you can flip it really, really quick, because this water penetration is going to eventually lead to discoloration on the walls inside. So here's what you have going on. This is a low-grade roofing material. And you're taking on water, and here's why. Entry points here, here. This is on backwards, so that's going to trap water. The flashing is primarily the most important thing, next to the rubber installation itself. So without a bonding element, like fabric is what it's called, this is going to separate and continue to separate, drive water down in. The flashing is done poorly here. You can see the membrane of the fabric that was used, but it looks like somebody was trying to spread as much as they could, which is why this layer is so thin, which is going to come back and haunt you. Although honestly, I can't for the life of me understand why they didn't run this low grade stuff up onto here as well. But again, the perimeter has the same issue with the flashing. Number one, this is a shingle edge metal. This is not slag stop, nowhere is it C5. Again, you're going to have the same pattern you see back here with the flashing, and it's going to come back to haunt you here. Caulk against rubber is never going to work. And this, again, you're going to have to be a roofer to figure this out. This is not done well. You have this ponding element that's happening here. I don't know why they didn't build this area up. Obviously, you have a transition like this, it would have been nothing to drop a sheet of plywood in to run the rubber on. You don't have to be an expert to see that. Simply a 4x8 sheet of plywood here, tapered, almost like a football, would have eliminated this spot here. Not to mention the fact that you've got what we call a fish mouth right here. See this raised area? So ponded water in the summer, 100-degree weather, may or may not be an issue, but come winter, what winds up happening is this freezes up, turns into ice, ice gets into open areas, and it'll expand. Somebody tried to remedy a situation here with cement, but again, whoever was installing the cement looks like they were trying to squeeze as much as they could out. There's no flashing here whatsoever, which is not good. This ran up there. It really looks like somebody was trying to, they put on the cheapest stuff. They don't even sell this at supply houses. This is some kind of underlayment that goes on commercial properties before you put the GAF or the CertainTeed rubber on. This is ran wrong. This obviously was not wrapped correctly. This looks like rubber that was butted to a 2x8. Yeah, to a 2x8 and then left wide open. This should have been wrapped as well. So the grade of material put down here, this is not a top exposure material. This is a base underlayment that we put other rubber on top of. So not only is the flashing inferior, not only is the installation done incorrectly, this is bucking water. So this seam, you always want to have your seam run in the gutter and then follow the pitch up to be installed. But again, it looks like somebody was trying to save material with the flashing because it was done incorrectly, very sparsely. And over here, it looks like they just did not know what they were doing whatsoever. This is open, which is never going to work. This should have been wrapped in rubber. Drop a piece of plywood on top of that, rubber down over the sides. Again, there should be 2 layers of roofing cement, then a layer of bonding element, such as the asphalt soaked fabric, and then another layer of roofing cement, and then you repeat that process again anytime you have a vertical transition, because the vertical transitions are the ones that separate the most due to expanding from the heat in the summer and shrinking in the winter. This is not even down, so you don't have to be a roofer to figure out this is not going to work. This primarily is not flashed in there, and it's not even welded to the perimeter here, so that's going to be a problem later. Fortunately, you're back here, so you're not exposed to the same high winds you are in the front, but if you do catch wind, it's going to grab this and rip it up, and then where are you going to be? And then the same issue over here. This is just run. I don't want to pull it up anymore because I don't know how quick you want to be to do work. Here's the same problem with the flashing. There's not the proper flashing technique. Should be roofing cement, bonding element, roofing cement, and then you repeat that process on any vertical seam. The horizontals, not such a problem, but the stacks, the riser here where it meets the counter flashing, the fact that there's no material back there whatsoever and you can see exposed wood is also not good, because you're going to be trapping water here. And again, this rubber was just ran up and it looks like somebody left in a hurry. It wasn't even flashed. So thin flashing, improper installation. This is not the correct material to put on a roof. This is a base underlayment. So just, there's multiple issues here. If you're going to try to flip this, you need this to be able to pass inspection. And I don't think of, no offense, but the only person who's passing this is somebody who doesn't know anything about roofing. If it belongs to somebody who has a home already, we're going to want these issues remedied. And again, here's this shingle metal in the front, and it doesn't even catch the barred board because this is called C3.5. What should be here is a slag stop or some kind of custom metal, because otherwise this whole front is just going to catch water, send it right into the cornice.